Assalam. Queen Phoenix Ramadan L. Jackson, back in the light of Al Brazeera Cyber Network. Tonight's Libra New Moon video conversation was going to be about just celebrating the new year, the new celestial 24,000 year cycle. That's what it was just. It was only going to be about that. But there are more pressing issues that must be discussed. And one of them is what is going on in Yemen. Yeah. With the vortex, the Stargate. What's going on with that? And why is it there? And why does it appear now? Is that the abyss? Spoken of in Revelation, spoken of in the Quran about the last hour? Yes, it is. It is the abyss that is opening up, and we're going to discuss what that is about, okay? Because it was going to be about the New Year, Ramadan New Year, not the Ramadan New Year, but the 24,000 year cycle. New Year begins today or this evening, Muharram 1st, okay? The first month. Well, the first day, Muharram, the first month, Muharram, on the Islamic calendar, year 1437 is the year, okay, and it's October 14th, 2015, right? So we were going to just celebrate the new year, or the new 24,000 year, the last hour, but it's more serious than that, okay? And we're going to get to it right now. Okay, but we will be still celebrating after we got to, celebrate. So we're going to put this away for now, okay? Now we're going to talk about that, and it's in the Gulf of Aden, right? And what many don't realize is that when the earth was, first created, and the waters were shed back, right? There was one point sticking out. The angels went around that point 7 times, okay, to sanctify that area. And that's why Muslims go around the Kaaba 7 times, because that point is where the Kaaba, the holy Kaaba, exists today. And again, as I said, that is why Muslims circle the Kaaba 7 times. And of course, we all know there's 7 levels to Jannah, right? Jannah is paradise, so there's 7 levels. So like in a spiral, you go 7 times, you're going to reach Jannah, right? Okay, so, and that point was also where Adam, the first man, of course, and his wife Hawa, and in Christianity they call her Eve, in which Hawaii is named after Hawa, right? So they met on that mountain. I think it's Mount Arafat, okay? Not named after Arafat, but it's named Arafat. Arafat was named after the mountain, okay? Because the mountain pre-existed Arafat. Some would mislead you to believe that the mountain was named after Arafat, but it's not. But anyway, they met when the earth descended to this level. Then they met again on Mount Arafat, okay? So they had to find, like I spoke in one of the videos, they had to find their true love, right? Well, no, a man and woman, when they mature, they've gotten dead, they want to find their soulmate, their true love, right? Same as Adam and Hawa had to find each other again, right? And they, of course, were created to be soulmates. They were created soulmates, right? So anyway, so what I see that as, that's the garden. That would be the Garden of Eden, right? The Garden of Aden, the Gulf of Aden, right? So what's going on in the Gulf of Aden, or the Garden of Eden, right? With the vortex, okay? That opened up. It opened up. I believe it opened up before that, but what's I read was, or what I reviewed was, it opened up January 5th, 2010, and all of the navies of the world ushered to that point to see what was going on in that particular area, because something like 21,000 ships go through that area a day. I don't know if that's the exact amount, or is it more or less, but that's what was said, in the recording that I watched and the research that I did. So that's a very critical, crucial area, right? And it leads into what? The Arabian Peninsula, right? So, and one can imagine what can happen if that area is threatened, right? The global economy will shut down, and that, as I spoke of, is the climate chaos that I think it was, who was it? It was I posted a video that was spoken of. Okay, I think it was French Prime Minister who talked about the 500 days to global chaos, and I think that's because their geologists are monitoring the rate at which that they call it a vortex, but the abyss is opening, right? Okay. Well, not opening, but expanding, right? And we're going to find out why it's expanding as well, right? So, okay, so, we said, okay, I gotta figure out where I'm at, am I thinking, right? Okay, so, yeah, so that's the Garden of Eden, right? That would be the Garden of Eden, right? Okay, no, the global economy, what would happen if that area was threatened? Okay, and there's been earthquakes in that area, too, and there's volcano eruption, right? And that happened, the first one, I think it was November, around November in the same 2011, right? We're going to find out what the hell is going on, right? Okay, so, okay, so first of all, we'll start here, okay? Because it's like everything, in the commercial world is fiat, right? They got fiat Christianity, the Vatican, fiat Judaism, right? Zionism, and fiat Islam, Wahhabism, right? All sponsored by what? British, the British Crown, Rothschild, right? So everything about their fiat world, their commercial fiat world, is fiat reality, okay? Fiat spirituality, okay? So is it any wonder why humanity feels lost, disconnected, right? The supernatural realm seems scary, and not only scary, but it seems so. It's very difficult to understand. It's mysterious. Yeah, that's the word. It seems so mysterious. And it's really natural. Everything about the spiritual realm is natural. It's that commercial world that makes you think it's the natural realm. That's brainwashing. When you think that which is unnatural is natural, and that which is unnatural is supernatural. When you think that which is natural is supernatural, and that which is commercial is natural, that's brainwashing. Okay? When you become scared of nature, that's brainwashing. When you prefer that which is commercial over that which is real, that's brainwashing. Okay? So the world has been brainwashed, and they've been compelled, based upon the commercial brainwashing, to conduct themselves in a manner in which accommodates the brainwasher, right? The one who does the brainwashing. And life is limited within that commercial realm because the programmer, let's say, the brainwasher, the programmer, his reality is limited. So one's reality is going to constantly be limited, and until they awaken to, let's say, the natural realm, which is considered supernatural. But then being exposed to that supernatural realm after being programmed, right? Then that means that could be life-threatening, right? Because it could such a shock, right? So surprising, so frightening, right? because one has been programmed with fear as well, right? So it's no different than the MK mind programming, right? And by which one needs a deprogrammer to assist them with removing or becoming deprogrammed, right? So humanity has been programmed. Humanity has been brainwashed, right? So that is why all these events are so scary, right? Such as the vortex opening up, or they call it a vortex, but such as the abyss opening up, okay? But it's a vortex to some degree, and we'll talk about that, okay? So the commercial world is fiat, and the natural world is considered supernatural, right? Because humanity was created to see angels, right? Yeah. But if one saw an angel, they wouldn't even recognize one, right? It's like being adopted. If they saw their parent, they wouldn't even recognize their parents because they'll think the adopted parents are their parents, right? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, and what? They're practicing fiat spirituality, right? Generic religion, right? Just like the food is going to generic food, right? Generic vegetable, generic medicine, generic this, generic everything, right? And then once the generic food is processed, right? It has no nutritional value, right? Yeah, the seeds don't even reproduce, right? It's like the spirituality. The fiat spirituality doesn't even reproduce. That's why they're working so hard to get rid of Orthodox Islam, because it has the spiritual nutrients in it for mankind, for humanity to mature, right? Spiritually mature and ascend, right? Yeah. Okay, so everything about their commercial world, or commercial reality, is fiat, because in reality, they are deaf, dumb, and blind. Who are deaf, dumb, and blind? The Nazis, right? And why are they called Nazis? Because they cannot see. They cannot see, so they're Nazis, right? The Nazis are deaf, dumb, and blind because they're ignorant, right? They're spiritually blind, spiritually dumb, spiritually deaf. And that's what they say, the blind leading the blind, right? The spiritually blind leading the spiritually blind, because what? If one has been programmed by the programmer, right? And this programmer is blind, then those who follow the programmer is blind, right? Yeah. And then to be trained to see, right? What's natural is spooky, you know, if they're not accustomed, if they're not accustomed to seeing it. And by the way, this is the birth of the 24,000 year cycle, the new 24,000 year cycle. It's a baby year, right? These are our new baby years, and the ones who are fortunate, those who have purged themselves, will be very, very rewarded, very fortunate, right? And we're going to talk about that too. There are a lot of things that we got to talk about, okay? So as we said, they have a fiat reality, and man's reality is limited if, you know, they continue to follow the program, right? They continue to adhere to the program of violence, kill, dog eat dog, be violent, okay? Anyway, we're going to talk more. Okay, so they're Nazis because they cannot see. They're deaf, dumb, and blind, right? They cannot see the truth. They cannot understand. That's what to be able to see is to be able to comprehend, right? Okay, to be able to use that that higher consciousness, right? That third eye, right? When that third eye of consciousness awakens, right? And to be able to process information with greater detail and more rapidly, right? Okay, so they would be unable to see or to comprehend a sign as large as, that would be a mark on their face as large as Mount St. Helens, right? That is why they are Nazis, right? Because they cannot see, right? So many, okay. So, my dear beloved ones, okay, I am not afraid to say it is time to die. Die to the ill consciousness. Die to the last 24,000 year cycle. To let it pass. To let it fall. To cut it. To separate yourself from that. Okay? Die to the old and prepare to live again. To be born anew. into a new consciousness, a higher consciousness, a greater consciousness, a clear consciousness, a peaceful consciousness. Okay? And that's what would be considered the new world. But they were prepared to take us back. Those Nazis were prepared to take humanity back. Okay, back to barbarism. That's what they're doing with ISIS and all this rampant massacring and slaughtering under the name of Islam. Alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am a Muslim, and I'm proud to be a Muslim. I'm grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me to become a Muslim and make shahada and embrace Islam. And Muslims don't do that. Believers, Christians don't do that. Christians are Muslims too. Jews are Muslims too. To be a Muslim is to be a believer. Okay? To make shahada is to say, Ashadu, I witness, La ilaha, there is no God, illallah, but Allah, Muhammad Rasulullah. That is, Muhammad is a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I've showed in the Quran, in the Bible, where it spoke of Muhammad, it expected Muhammad, and how the Christians, when the Jews, or when the people, descendants of Abraham, were led out of Egypt, they went into Arabia, right? And those ruins are still there, right? To demonstrate that that's where they went. So this this new age has led you back home with your brothers. So to say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad is a messenger, is also to say that Jesus, which out the J, because we talked about there was no J 2,000 years ago when Prophet Isa walked the earth. So when he walked, if you take off the J, then you just have the E-S-U, and that goes back to Isa, okay? And that was his name. That's the name that Muslims, believers, refer to him as, Isa, okay? Prophet Isa, because just like in the Torah, right? Associate Noah partners, to say that Jesus is the son of the Creator is to say that, is basically to say that he begotten, he had intercourse with, and that's haram. That means that's forbidden. So Muslims, believers, recognize him, the prophet, born of a virgin, as a man, not the son of God, but a prophet, a messenger, like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Prophet Musa, the one who was blessed to part the Red Sea, like Prophet Abraham, like all the other prophets. Okay. It's also further said, if Prophet Isa was born of a virgin without the father, and that made him God, then what did that make Adam, who had no father or mother? Okay? Those are things to think about. And if you've been brainwashed, if humanity was brainwashed all those years, then you need to think about it. And there King James, British King James wrote the Bible, and he also sponsored ISIS and also sponsored Zionism. Then you need to think about what he put in that, what he could have misled you. Okay? So, anyway, so as I said, prepare to die. Prepare to die and be born again, right? In the new 24,000 celestial year cycle. Okay? Yeah. So, now, for when and if that volcano blows, okay, in Yemen, we didn't really talk about that, we didn't get there yet. Okay, when that volcano blows in Yemen, all hell is going to break loose, right? All hell in the abyss is going to break loose. Okay? And it's going to unleash every evil, demonic spirit known within man. Okay? Because the shaitan, that's the outcast spirit, he's going to be taken out of this world. And so when he is taken out, every sin that man does, he cannot say the devil made him do it. He cannot say he was influenced by the devil. It will be his own wicked spirit. That is why, prior to the seal of the blood moon, the Aries blood moon that happened, that was the seal that sealed the new 24,000 from the old 24,000, and it was said, purge, purge, purge. Remember, we said the video said purge. I spoke about that. Well, if you purged, okay, then you don't have to worry about those spirits in one's life, right? In your life. But if you didn't do the purging, then those spirits are going to have control in one's life, right? Yeah. The person will be dominated by that spirit, because they will have no way to control their own spirit, right? Okay, we'll talk about that too. Okay, so it said, okay, because when the abyss breaks loose, and the reason why, because so much fear, right? So much panic, there will be nothing to ground them. Okay, that's why I said clean your house, your mental house, your physical house, and your spiritual house. Okay, mind, body, and soul, and the whole house your body dwells in, the house your soul, spirit dwells in, and the house your body dwells in. I said clean those houses. Okay, it was vital that you adhere to that. Okay, so okay, because as we said, when the abyss opens, it's going to be a hella scary time, because a lot will be going on. We're going to continue to talk about that. Let me try to go back and kind of update you on that before we get that far. Okay. Now, okay. So, as I said, there's a porthole open. Okay, and I believe the porthole opened as a result of probably all the fracking and all the drilling and all the destruction to the environment and all the bombs dropping on the earth, and because there's been a lot of volcanic eruptions, and the one that's most familiar to me is Mount St. Helens that erupted in 1980, right? It erupted in 1980 in Washington, the state of Washington in the United States, right? And so they've been continuing since then, right? From my knowledge, right? I'm sure prior to, somebody else probably remembers other eruptions prior to that, but as far as I go back, as far as my knowledge goes back, I didn't do any research to find out what was going on prior to that, but it's just been, more, as far as I know, more continuous, more eruptions since then, So anyway, there's one in Yemen, right? There's a volcanic eruption in Yemen, right? And as I said, all this eruption is going on to, I believe, the disturbance of the earth, the disturbance of the environment, right? And then the volcano erupted in Eden, Garden of Eden, right? As we discussed, okay? Okay. So it erupted the December 20th, excuse me. And think about that. That's the darkest day of the universe in Capricorn, right? And we just got out of the Aries Capricorn square back in March of this year, 2015, right? So that was indicating the time it was, right? Okay, and then we won't go there yet, but we will go there. Okay, so it happened on what? What is that called? That the Tropic of Capricorn, right? So yeah, I do believe so. I have to check it out. But anyway, it happened in Capricorn, right? And what did they say about that horse? Okay, the fourth seal. When the fourth seal is open, the gray horse rides, right? The horse of death, right? That would be the house of Capricorn, because the four horsemen were to ride, right? One would be white, one would be red, and one would be black, and the other would be gray. One would represent life, right? Then red would represent, let's say, the maturity, okay? Then the black would represent what? What is that? It's in the house of Libra, right? So it's representing balance, right? Equality. It represents justice, getting all that done, right? Okay, so then where we're at now, okay, and then the second one represents death, right? And that's Capricorn, in Capricorn, right? Okay, so, and it represents cardinal signs, right? What, the sun rises first, because it's a white horse, right? In Aries, right? And the sun begins to blossom. Not blossom, but we have what? The spring equinox, right? The first springtime, right? The first sun. Okay. Then we have the red horse, right? And then we in Cancer, right? What does Cancer represent? The woman, right? What does the blood represent? Red, white, the woman, right? Maturity, right? What is it? Life, right? Then as it falls, right? Then it begins to fall, right? The black horse, right? In Libra, right? So, and then, what, as they say, the sun dies, right? And because of the darkest year, right? So then we go back up to Ra, right? To Aries, right? Arise, right? The sun rises again. Okay, so those are the four horsemen, right? And we're at Libra, right? Okay, so we have this volcano erupting in Capricorn, right? On the darkest day, right? Okay, and that, excuse me, what that was in 2011 too. I believe it was 2011. And that was after the porthole opened up, or the abyss opened up, right? Now, and that's what, at the center of the earth, right? Because Capricorn is the center of the earth, aligned with what? With Cancer, right? So it's the center of the earth, right? So, and what did we just have that new blue moon on? We had it at the center, at the galactic center, and we just went through the galactic alignment, right? So there are so many things going on, but we better get this shit right, okay? Seriously. Okay, so we got that going on, okay? Okay, so we said, okay. Okay, so they asked, could Yemen, I looked at something today, and it said, could Yemen be the conflict roof that starts Psalms 83? Yes, it could. It really could, but not the way they're reading it to be, where it's got Russia just coming in at Israel and Muslims coming into Israel, because, as you know, Israel, the Israelites in the Israel occupied territories of Palestine are not the Israelites. Palestinians are the true Israelites, okay? African American people in America are the true Israelites, okay? They were taken into slavery. I posted the video that said how many Israelites, Khazars, were taken into slavery. Huh? Okay. Now, so, okay. So if it could it start the conflict? Yeah, if the Wahhabis continue doing what they're doing, yes. Okay, if the Zionists and the two dynasties, the Wahhabist dynasty and the Zionist dynasty, continue, the Rothschild dynasty, the Zionist Rothschild dynasty and the Al-Saud, the Wahhabi Al-Saud dynasty, if those two families, East and West, continue to destroy the world, hell yeah, it can lead to World War III. But that's what they want, okay? And that's the greatest reason for this vortex opening up, okay? Mother Earth is calling for help. It's signaling for help, okay? And we have this swirl. That's why you had the volcanic eruption. All that, I'm sure it was a trembling of the earth. And then, like in Islam, it says there's going to be a sinking east and west. Okay, so if we have this sinking, this volcanic eruption opening up, the earth opening up, of course there's going to be a sinking on one side and the other. There's going to be three sinkings, right? And we've already seen sinkings all around, holes, big potholes sinking around the world, where whole homes have fell into sinkholes, right? Okay, so that would be the abyss opening up, right? Okay, now. Okay, now, and we have this swirling, right? And so imagine all of that swirling, sucking all this water in, first of all, then it's sucking land in, right? It's going to be sucking land in, okay? So, okay, and that could cause what? Greater earthquakes, right? Okay, and it said what? And Muslims recognize this quite well, that there will be a great earthquake to come and swallow, because the Wahhabi king is going to send out an army to try to destroy the army of the Mahdi, who will be riding with the prophet born of a virgin. So he's going to send that army out, and there's going to be a big earthquake to swallow his army up. Okay, so we see the beginning signs of that. And then again, if again in Islam it said what? If oh, well, I won't go there right now because I'm kind of going far. Okay, so yeah, it could lead to war, but that's what they want. Okay, the more violence there is on Earth, the more aggravated it's going to agitate the Earth, right? Because the Earth has earthquakes when there are evil people atop it, right? That's one of the signs that there are evil people around, is when the earth starts when that earth starts quaking, right? Oh no, this is where I was. Okay, so all of this is going on. So the earth is calling out for help. Okay, help. So we have this vortex opening up, right? Okay, imagine all that energy that's being released. Okay, and oh, another important thing. Over excuse me. Now, over Hijaz, that's the name of the nation, the name of that land. Okay, it's Hijaz. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's not. They named that after El Saud family, the Saud family. That's why they call it Saudi Arabia. Okay. Anyway, it's really named Hijaz. So Hijaz is a vortex, like over Egypt, like over Palestine, like over, that's why they call it the Holy Land. A vortex is where lines double up, the ley lines. Okay, ley lines is the Earth's grid, right? And the energy from the sun, okay, is collected on this grid, right? It's like a big net over the Earth, right? Okay, so we got, when they double up, okay, double energy, right? So, we call those vortexes, right? Also, the cardinal signs are vortexes too, right? So, we got what? And the sun rises at Ra, right? So that would be the Holy Land, right? Right. Okay. So that's a big vortex over there. Though that's what the Zionists want control of, that vortex. Can you imagine the type of power, energy they would be harnessing, as we talked about the Tesla towers, okay, and harnessing energy, okay, from the sun, okay, and from the earth, right? Because, okay. Okay, so, they want that land, right? That's why, what? They have cordoned it off. What's the greater Israel, cordoned off some of Syria, cordoned off Syria, Lebanon, parts of Saudi, parts of Hijaz. They want that vortex for themselves, okay? So that's well, and remember what the power the vortex has, right? Levitation, right? Remember how the pyramids were constructed through levitation, vibration, right? Okay, certain instruments used to make certain sounds cause cause levitation, right? Okay, and then you can make what they do too. Make what are those things? They're called beams of light. Lasers, right? Yeah, all that energy can create lasers, right? And that's how they cut that granite, right? Well, making those lasers, right? So they want that again, right? And then they had what? Global communication too, right? Because they did not telepathically, but they did it through, what do they call that? Holograms, okay? Bright, making holograms, okay? So they want that technology for themselves. But they need that area that has the most power, and Ra has the most power, right? Aries with the first sun, right? Okay. Okay, so, okay, the earth calling for help. Okay, so we got that power back there, right? That vortex, right? And we got that swirl. Now we got this energy, right? We got this this energy, okay, that's opening up and it's swirling, right? Okay, so now we see those swirls in the sky, right? Okay, okay. So now if we got a vortex on the ground that's opening up, that energy that's released from the earth and all that heat from the volcano, from the center of the earth, right? From the lava, right? We got that heat, right? Okay, in one area, concentrated in one area, right? That's what the vortex is. It's a concentration of energy, okay? So we got that concentration of energy in that area, the concentration of energy above and below, right? And then we got it captured in a vacuum, right? Very heat, right? That could cause an explosion, right? A great explosion. Okay. They'd probably say if it exploded like that, of course it'd be greater than a nuclear bomb, right? Now, but if that happened, right, what would they say? Oh, ISIS did it. Now we got to kill everybody, right? But it would actually be the earth that had that signal for help. But no, the earth didn't listen. Mankind didn't listen, so it got to that, just like, you know, got to that point where it had to, it exploded. Assalamu alaikum. We're going to go to video 2.